I glance at the time and it's 21:06. I need to finish an essay and an assignment. Why is university so difficult? I decided to take a break and go downstairs for a snack before continuing the long night ahead of me. I came out of my room and looked down my hallway that's dim as Aunt Natasha is out tonight, which just leaves me and my sister Ella at home. I walk down. As I pass Ella's room, I see her light on, shining underneath the door. I open the door to see her putting on a hoodie. Her eyes opens as she screams, "You scared me." I walk in to see her in gray sweatpants with sneakers on, looking like she's about to run off somewhere. "Where are you going?" I ask. She starts fidgeting with her fingers, a habit she has when she's caught doing something. I steady her hands and ask one more time. She blurts out, "To buy sweets." I stare at her in disbelief. At 9 in the night you want to sneak out and buy sweet. Why? I ask in annoyance. "Well, it's 2 streets down and I was feeling adventurous tonight," she says cheerfully. This girl is out of her mind. "No," I basically scream out. I walk out of her room, heading downstairs, hearing her footsteps following me into the kitchen. "Sophia, please, it will be fun," she begs. I ignored her and switch on the light. I go to the fridge only for her to force it close and stand in front of me. "Please, you can come with. We don't even live in a dangerous area," she pleads, trying to make her point. I roll my eyes and scream, "No. If I come with you, you will make it a habit of going out and it's dangerous," my voice full of concern. "But it will be fun. We will be back in no time, and other than that it will give us time to talk more, since you always stuck in your room busy with your assignments," she says, trying to guilt trip me. "Ella, it's late," I say and walk away to the sink for a glass of water. "Okay, how about we make a deal?" she asks, seeming so sure it's going to work. "What?" I say with annoyance. She doesn't know when to stop. "If we go, I promise for the next month to not pester you for anything, including not to wear your clothes," she says. Well, she is always pestering me for my clothes, so I guess, and she is always bothering me when I do my assignments, which is really annoying. I could just this once give in to her. "Fine," I say, "but you better live up to your word." "Deal," she says and starts jumping up and down. I run upstairs to put on a hoodie over my pink top and slip on my sneakers, do my blonde locks in a bun, put my phone and wallet in my sweatpants pockets and run downstairs. Ella was already standing outside on the porch, waiting for me. I lock the door and off we go. We started to walk down the street until we saw Roger, one of the neighbors that just loves minding our business. We hide behind the bushes, the street lights are so bright, and if he sees us, we are doomed. So instead we walk back to go to the shop that is 4 streets up from our house. As we walking, Ella starts talking. Once she starts, she never stops. "Why did I agree to come again?" I ask, rolling my eyes, even though she can't see me cause it's dark. "Because you love me," she says, dragging the letters. I roll my eyes and we continue walking, while she talks my ears off. She starts cracking her silly jokes, and without realizing I lose my concentration on which street to turn into. About 6 streets up, I realize we are officially lost. "Can't you ever shut up?" I blurt out. While trying to get the GPS on my phone, we just moved here about 3 months ago and I haven't gotten used to any of the streets. "What do you mean? You should have focused on the streets either way. I thought you can multitask." She starts mocking me. We end up having our normal arguments until I scream, "Enough," and I'm pretty sure I saw about 2 house lights come on. "Let's go down the street and see from there," I suggest in order to end the argument and get home. "Fine," she agrees. We start walking as I start to look around and see the street being darker than the others and sketchy. We're probably in the middle of the street when I start to freak out. "Let's go back and go back home. This doesn't feel right." Ella seems annoyed at me, but she says whatever and we begin walking back. "Help, I'm sorry, it won't happen again." We hear a man screaming in a dark alley. Ella seems intrigued. "Who's that?" "Let's go see," she blurts out and runs off before I can even say anything. I run behind her, trying not to scream so no one hears us. She stops and crouches down behind a big dustbin. There stood 4 men. One on the floor, pleading, probably the man we heard. The man in the middle has a gun pointing to his head. All I'm able to see is the gun and the man wearing a black suit. One man was behind the man on the floor holding him so he doesn't run away, and the other man is standing on the left looking at the man on the floor with anger. If it wasn't so dark, I would be able to see them. I nudge Ella. "Let's go, this isn't right, we going to get in trouble," I whisper. Ella nods and she starts sneaking away. I get up to go behind her when my phone starts ringing. It's Aunt Natasha. I try to shut it off, but with the fear of getting caught, I can't. Eventually it goes off. I hear the man with the gun say to the man on his left to go and see who it is and kill them as they don't want any witnesses. I begin to run, only to trip on what seemed like bricks and hit my head on the wall. My last thought before going unconscious is, I hope Ella is safe. I wake up. My head feels heavy and my body feels incapable of movement. I open my eyes as the events of last night flash back. Ella, I scream only to realize I am not in my bed. I look around and see a black and red themed bedroom. Is this a movie? I think. It's so beautiful, but my head is throbbing too much to examine the room. I struggle to my feet and stumble to the door. I attempt to open the door only to see it's locked. What? Why am I locked in? Hello, is anyone there? I bang the door with my fists until it starts hurting. I eventually give up and go to another door that happens to be black too. I open it and I am welcomed with a white marble bathroom. I could swear this is from a movie. I walk to the sink and wash my face. I look in the mirror and see that my wound is treated. Why is it treated? Why didn't they kill me? Are they going to torture me? Am I going to die? Questions flood through my mind. I walk back to bed and can't help but worry about Ella. I looked for my phone only to see it's gone. Of course it's gone. Why would those men let me keep it? I wonder about the room and there isn't any pictures or something that gives me information about the owner's room. My headache seems to be subsiding and looking out the window. It seems to be about noon. This place seems to be surrounded by the forest, yet it seems so peaceful and beautiful. I get consumed by the scenery when I hear the door click. I turn around to see a man with blue sapphires for eyes, black hair, black pants and a white formal shirt with sleeves fold up, showing a couple of his tattoos. He has his top buttons undone. I can't help but be consumed by his appearance. He closes the door behind him and walks up to me. I see you awake. His voice is cold, but so mesmerizing. So I need to ask you something and I want answers, he says in a demanding tone. I gulp. Where is my sister? I manage to say. My hands start sweating and I start grasping for oxygen. Great, another anxiety attack. He rushes to me, calming me down. His touch makes me feel safe, his cologne becoming my oxygen. I start relaxing. I won't hurt you, but take deep breaths, he says as he leads me to bed. I start to relax, able to breathe again. We didn't see your sister, Sophia, he says in a calm and softened tone. Fuck, they going to go after her now. Please don't hurt her, take me but leave her, I plead with him, as tears start rolling down my eyes. I won't hurt her, but if you lie to me, I will, he says with his cold tone again. I gulp. Okay, I whisper. What did you see and why were you there in the first place, he asks me, annoyed. I narrate him the story to him with absolute honesty and hope he would let me go. Okay, well you saw a lot and you will be going nowhere, he says, waking up and walking away. I run to stand in front of him. I told you the truth, so let me go. I won't tell anyone what I saw, I plead. I can't take that risk. So you will be staying here until I decide what to do with you. Here's your phone and message your sister saying any lie is too. Why you not at home, and remember my people are monitoring your phone, and by the way, I'm Damon Russo, he says. So casually. He walks out, and I stare at my phone as I wonder what to say to Ella. I open my phone to see 12 missed calls from Aunt Natasha and 10 messages from Ella. I immediately message Ella. Hey Ella, I'm fine. Before I reached you, Sasha called and said she needed me, so I decided to take a detour to her house. I'm sorry for not telling you. I'll be staying with her for a while, as you know how she is. Take care, love you. I message Aunt Natasha the same thing. I can't help but have guilt. I hate lying to them. But right now, it's for their safety. I know they won't look for me at Sasha's house for 2 reasons. Reason 1, they trusted me. Reason 2, they don't really like Sasha. I lay back and think of Damon. Who is he? A gang member? But this room is so lavish, so he can't be a simple gang member. Just as I think that, I hear a door bang. I go to the room door to see he left it open. I sneak out and look downstairs by the main door and see a man enter around 50, walk up to the bar in the corner of the large room that seems to fit a dining room and bar with extra space, again with the red and black theme. I decide to explore a little. There's many rooms. I walk slowly down passages when I hear footsteps. Before I could hide, the old man from earlier sees me. Who are you? His voice is cold but also curious. I am Sophia, and you are? I ask, even though his features look like Damon. His looks like an older Damon, with his black gray hair, blue sharp eyes, and a black suit with a blue shirt and a black tie. I am Mason Russo, he says, but I feel like he knows me. What are you doing here? He asks with curiosity. I was brought here. I hesitate. Before I can continue as to why I was brought here, Damon appears. Father, he says as cold and respectfully. Son, he says, relaxing. What is going on here? He asks. Damon looked at Mason with a nod as if they were talking with their eyes. Mason nods, good night son, and he walks away. I stand there in confusion. What just happened? Why are you here? He asks with concern. I heard the front door, so I wandered off to see what it was and to explore. Then I think I got lost, I confess. You seem to getting lost a lot lately, he says, raising his eyebrow with a smirk. Come on, Sophia. You shouldn't be wandering around this late. He takes me back to the room. Get some sleep, tomorrow is an important day for you and me, he says and starts walking. What does he mean, important day? What do you mean? I muster the courage to ask. You will find out tomorrow. He stops in his tracks and turns with annoyance. Can I maybe have a shower first? I ask. It's been almost 24 hours since I am wearing this and I cannot sleep with dirty clothes. Fine. I will take out my sweatpants and shirt for you to wear after tomorrow. I'll get clothes arranged for you, he says in a cold voice. I go into the shower and wash away all the events of the past few hours. I can't believe my life turned into this just for the sake of going out to buy sweets. I turn off the shower and wrap myself up in a towel. I walk into the room, and he isn't there. I guess he is respectful. I change and walk to the bed when I hear a knock. Can I come in? He asks with curiosity. I smirk. Yes, I scream. When he comes to lay down, in sweatpants and shirtless, I almost have a heart attack. His body is almost covered with tattoos, and even though I personally hate tattoos, I can't help but think how breathtaking he is. I snap out of my trance. Where's my room? I ask. It's this one, he says simply. But you sleeping here? I blurt out. Yes, and so will you, so I can keep an eye on you, so you don't get lost. He stares at me with a smirk across his face. I won't touch you, he adds. Fine. I say hesitantly, drifting off to sleep. I wake up and observe my surroundings, only to see Damon is gone. I glance at the time and it's 9:39. Today, he said it is important. What could it be? What will they do to me? Questions flood my mind as I wash up. I hear the door open and see a man entering. Before I could say anything, King wants to see you, follow me, he says in a deep and cold tone. His appearance is more bulky, stern and cold. He's dressed in a black formal suit with his tattoos peeking through his formal shirt. Does everyone here have tattoos? Without saying anything, I follow him. We go down a long hallway, probably different from the one I got lost in yesterday. Everything is so perfect in the house, but it feels like house and not a home. No pictures, no personal effects. We turn into hallway, go through double doors. That's where I see Damon sitting in a chair while two other men is standing beside him discussing something. It's a huge room with a huge table, one chair behind it and two in front. A few feet away there is a round coffee table with couches surrounding it. The three walls are surrounded with book cabinets while the fourth one has windows and curtains that once again are black. There's something different about this room. Maybe it's just the colors. Thank you, Alessandro, you may go, Damon says while looking down. Yes, sir, and with that, the man whose name is Alessandro walks out. Dante, get me her file, he says without looking up. My file? What does he mean? I did a background check on you, he says, answering my thoughts. The two men on either side look stern and focused. They also have tattoos. Not surprised there. One is dressed with jeans and a formal shirt and has blonde/brown hair, while the other is dressed in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Damon, well, he's dressed in a suit. The one named Dante, which seems to be the one dressed semi-formal, moves to get my file. He hands it to Damon while Damon tells me to have a seat. I walk over to the couch. King, isn't that your clothes? Dante says with shock. Yes, Damon replies. Dante and the other man's expression is of shock and confusion. Why is it so shocking? So your father was Roberto Hernandez, Damon states. Why does it feel like he knows him? I nod. Your mother's name was Oliva Hernandez, Damon states. Why do you know them? I ask with curiosity. He looks up and I swear his expression looked like he was caught doing something wrong, but he quickly changes it to his stern, cold look. No, it's here in the file. He puts the file away and looks at me. You will be staying here, you will be one of us, your training will begin tomorrow, and from what I see, you're good at computers, so you may be of help to me, and in that way you can stay occupied. My mind goes back to when my dad should train me. My mother was pretty good at fighting and my dad was good at computers and fighting. My heart sinks at the fact that I'll never ever see them again. You may go anywhere in the house, but for that you will need to learn not to get lost, and if you need anything you can ask Matteo, Dante, Alessandro, or myself, he states calmly with his cold tone. I nod. What do you mean I'm one of you? I hesitantly ask, my curiosity getting the best of me. You are now part of the Italian Mafia, that I am the head of it, he says with a smirk. She walks away with shock. Why did I just tell her that? Why do I feel so comfortable around her? Questions flood my mind. Dante and Matteo go on about the business deal that we are working on, but I can't help but think of her parents. Did she know who they were? Did she know what happened, or does she believe what was told to her? I need to ask Dad when he gets back. Dante, tomorrow her training will start. I want you to start training her. Matteo, I want you to train her to shoot. Don't pressurize her, make sure she is comfortable with it and watch over her family. We can't have what happened to her parents to happen again. I order my second in command and third in command. Alessandro, I shout. Yes, sir. Alessandro comes in. I want you to go and get clothes for her, take her with, she can do all the shopping she wants and watch over her. If there is any danger, call me, I command sternly. Yes, sir, is that all? He asks. Yes, as my personal bodyguard, I want you to protect her with your life. Do you understand me? I sternly say. Yes, sir. Sir, may I ask you something? He hesitantly says. What is it? I ask. Alessandro and me have known each other from school, his part of the three of us. Why are you so protective over her? Girls come and go in your life, yet you have not treated them like you treat her. You could have killed her that night, but instead you took her to your room and treated her wounds yourself, he states. I am taken back by his question and statement. It's true though. I have never treated anyone girl this way. I always kill any witnesses at sight, but that night when Dante caught her and brought unconsciously, I couldn't help but feel some kind of emotion. Something I have never felt before. There is something that draws me to her. She didn't deserve to die, she was just in the wrong place, so I pitied her and brought her here. I lied but say it with authority and sternly. He nods and walks out. I sit back on my chair and think of her. What is happening to me? Why do I always want her around? When she had her anxiety attack, I felt the need to comfort her and kill everything that hurts her. Why can't I kill her? Questions and confusion flood my mind. Maybe it's the connection that I have with her parents that makes me feel this way. She must never come to know of the connection or what happened that night. Maybe with time I will tell her, but right now, no. She has been through enough in this past year. She doesn't need the truth right now. I decide to snap out of my trance and decide to talk to Dad about Sophia knowing who her parents were. Dad, we need to talk about Sophia Hernandez. I say through the phone. I had a feeling you would bring that up. When I get home, we will, he says in a defeated yet sternly voice. We cut the call and I drown myself with the thoughts of Sophia. There's a knock on the door, I open it and it's Alessandro. Yes, I ask. King said, we should go shopping for you, he says sternly but also humbly, almost like he has respect for me. Okay, I respond unsurely. Time skip. We walked and shopped almost all day. I feel exhausted. I decided to shower and then go and thank Damon afterwards. I go to Damon after showering and changing. It's around 8 in the night. I am about to knock and I hear Damon and his father talking. Does she know what happened that night? Damon asks sternly but also respectfully. No, but Natasha planned to tell her later on after she recovered from the situation. Why you asking me this though? I thought her being here means she knows already. Mason asks confused. No, I brought her here because she saw us kill a man. She was the sole witness. I didn't know who she was until we brought her here, and Dante brought her file up. Damon says, relieved. Are you going to tell her? She knows you are the mafia head already, so shouldn't she know what happened with her parents? Mason asks. No, Damon shouts. She isn't ready yet, Damon states. Wait, what did I just hear? My parents' death wasn't an accident? What do they know and I don't? Did they die in an accident or was ever gone just lying to me? I barge in. What do you mean? I ask as sternly as I can. Both of their face turn pale. I'm asking a question, Damon. What do you mean? What happened to my parents and how did you know what happened to them? They died in a car accident, right? I practically scream. Anger is consuming me. Sophia, calm down, we can sit and talk about this, he says, trying to calm me down. No, I don't know how you'll know my parents. You kidnapped me, made me part of your mafia, and now I had to find out that you know my parents and their accident wasn't an accident apparently? I scream, tears rolling down my cheeks due to the anger I'm feeling and the hole in my heart that I have felt from the time my parents died. Look, yes, this has happened too fast and you shouldn't be going through this. But we can talk about it calmly and I promise to tell you everything you want to know, Damon says with concern. Fine, but I want to know every single thing, I state, sternly. The three of us sit down. Damon and me on one couch and Mason on the one across us. Start talking, Damon, I say. Mason is the first to speak. We knew your parents. Your father and I were childhood friends once my father gave me the mafia to handle. I asked him to join me. He was the training specialist, our best hacker, my best friend and my second in command. He continues, my late wife and your mother were best friends. You met her a few times. Her name was Selina Russo. That's when it hits me. Selina was amazing. She was sweet, kind. At some point she looked after me and she was practically a family member like my second mom. I loved her, but when I was 17, she passed away. I never went to the funeral. I didn't want to see her in that state. I'm snapped out of my thoughts when Mason continues, my wife was killed by the Russian mafia. We went out on a date and she was shot. The men I had with me wasn't enough to defend us, and so we lost her. He says, with his emotions all over his face. Not long after, your parents and I went on a mission to kill the Russian mafia leader, Xavier Petrov. The mission failed as an inside man told Xavier our plans. Your parents were killed by Xavier. Damon and I managed to escape, but we lost the best of our people that day, he says with sadness. After losing my best friend, his wife, and the love of my life, I decided that I couldn't lose anyone else because of my profession. I gave to Damon the throne, naming him King of the Italian Mafia. Our motivation now is to end Xavier and make him pay for what he did. I only take part in mafia business when Xavier is involved, he says with anger in a cold tone. Tears are flooding my eyes. My parents were killed. It wasn't an accident. My heart sinks with this new information. It all makes sense now. The training, the weapons I was taught to use by Mom, the computers, the secret phone calls, the late night outs. The excuses. I feel Damon's hand around me and I lean into him, crying on his chest. His grip tightens and so does mine as I process the fact that my parents were killed. After crying for what seems like forever, I compose myself. Thank you for the truth. But why didn't I ever met you or Damon? Why didn't my parents ever tell me? I say with hurt and curiosity. You never met Damon or me, because we didn't want to endanger you. Neither we wanted to draw attention to us. Many people know how I look but not Damon. Roberto and me made sure to hide our children from anyone knowing about Yule. Everyone knows my son runs the mafia. They just don't know how he looks. As for your parents telling you you were too young, they don't want to pressure you with anything related to the mafia world. Oliva was going to tell you as soon as you were done with your studies, even though your father taught you more than any university can ever teach you, Mason states calmly with a hint of sadness. I feel Damon's hand still around me as I nod. Sophia, we were going to tell you eventually. We just knew how much you went through this past year. After your parents died, I made it my duty to watch over you and your family. Damon knew about you. He just didn't know you, he says. Thank you for looking after me and my family, and thank you for the truth. I think I need to rest now. Before they could say anything, I wake up and walk out. Fuck, she wasn't supposed to find out like this. Dad. I was supposed to tell her myself in due time, I say with anger and hurt. Why am I hurt? Why looking at her breakdown makes me feel sad? I push my thoughts aside. She needed to find out at some point, son. If not now, then eventually she would have, he says without even looking at me. He's feeling guilty too. As the ex-mafia leader, he took all the blame for losing the 3 people we loved so much. He has never been the same. He's been distant and most importantly always angry. Before saying anything, he wakes up and walks out. I sit back down on the couch. Xavier would pay for this, for hurting Dad and especially hurting Sophia. She didn't deserve to be part of this world. I can't help but feel responsible for her tears today. I walk up to pour myself a drink before I go to see if she's fine. I sit back down. Will she stay here? Will she continue being part of us? If she decides to leave, I won't be able to stop here. She doesn't need this right now or ever. I walk to the room, half expecting her to say she's leaving. I open the door to see her sleeping. She looks like an angel on my bed. If I could, I would hold her, but I promise to not touch her unless she says yes. I change into sweatpants and lay on the bed watching her sleep, drifting off to sleep while thinking of the events that took place earlier. I wake up, and the previous night's events flood through my mind. I turn to see Damon gone. Guess he has work and so do I. I glance at the time and it's 7:09. I muster the strength to shower, get ready, and like every morning, Mary, the helper, makes sure I eat. I thank her and go to see Damon. I make my way to Damon's office. I knock. Come in, he says sternly. Damon, we need to talk, I say. Dante and Matteo leave knowing this is a personal conversation. Yes, he says with curiosity and what seems like scared. I sit on one of the chairs across his table. Firstly, I can't change the fact that my parents are dead, neither I can change the fact that my parents didn't want me to know. But now I do, and I want to be part of this mafia. I want to take revenge for my parents, and I would appreciate it if my training could start right now, I say confidently. After what I found out yesterday, Xavier will pay for what he has done to my parents and to Selina. Damon looks shocked. He quickly composes himself and says, very well, Sophia, we will take revenge. Your training will start now if you are ready as you said, and I would be training you personally, he states. I nod. Matteo, Damon shouts. Yes, King. Matteo walks in. Take her to our personal training base and get her ready. I'll be there to train her myself, he orders Matteo. We walk downstairs and into the basement. We stand by a plane walk and Matteo places his hand on the wall and an elevator door appears. We go inside. May I ask you something, Matteo? I ask hesitantly. Sure, he says cheerfully. Why were you so shocked when he said personal training base? I ask. King never lets anyone, other than Mason, Dante, King and me, enter his personal base. It's weird because he never lets any girl enter his room, house, office, personal training base, and especially to wear his clothes. You seem special to him, he says. What about his girlfriend or something like that? I ask. Mentioning girlfriend makes me feel jealous and annoyed. I don't know why, because we are not even that close. He doesn't believe in love. After seeing what happened to his parents, he refuses to let himself fall in love. If he is with a girl, he sleeps with her, and that's all, obviously taking in a consent. He states, "I see," is all I manage to say when the elevator door opens and we enter into his personal training base. I enter the ring and Damon enters with shorts and shirtless. Our skills seem to be matched. I landed a few punches, but he was probably taking it easy on me. He punched me way more, but majority I dodged. He's good though. After some time we stopped taking it easy on each other and went for the kill, but to my surprise, our fighting skills are exactly the same. At the end of it, "Well done, Roberto taught you well," he states, wiping the sweat of his forehead. Hearing my father's name makes my heart drop. I nod and ready to walk away when he says, "Sophia, we will take revenge for our losses and become more powerful than we are now, together." In that moment is when I notice that the most powerful man in this world does have emotions to show, even though he seems scared to express it. We went back upstairs. Damon went into his office and I went back to the room. I lay back on the bed and think back to that night. The night that has haunted me for the past year. "Leave me alone, Mom. I don't want to talk to you or anyone." I screamed through the door. I'm probably overreacting, but for the past month, Ella and me have been trying to spend a day or two with my parents, but no matter what happens, work always comes in the way, and overall, it's always in the night. Why is a IT specialist being needed at night and now they're going to be gone for a week? "Honey, we leaving right now, but I promise you when we come back, we will spend all time together. This is the last time. Call me when you feel better. We love you," she says as her footsteps disappear downstairs. A few minutes later I hear the car pull away from the driveway. I wake up and everything is dark. I must have dozed off. I wake up and put my lampshade light on. I unlock my door and walk downstairs. I sobbed. "Mom called. She asked about you. I knew you were sleeping, so I told her to call later or you will call her," Ella says defeatedly. I get a snack and sit next to Ella on the couch. I put my phone on and call Dad, straight to voicemail. I call Mom and the exact same thing. I sigh and message Mom instead. "Hey Mom, I'm sorry I reacted that way. I just miss our family time. Call me when you get this. Love you and Dad." We watch TV, talk, and even have pillow fight. It was about 23:56 when we decide to go to bed. I check my phone and nothing. Guess they busy. I drift off to sleep and I am awakened by my phone going off. Must be Mom or Dad. With that I pick up the phone without looking at the caller ID. "Sop, can you open up?" the voice says roughly with sadness. "Aunt Natasha, sure?" I say confusedly. I rub the sleep from my eyes as I make my way downstairs and open the door. She hugs me while sobbing. I hug her back. "Are you okay, Aunt Natasha?" I ask concerned. We make our way to the lug. She sobs while I try to comfort her while asking her what happened. After 15 minutes of comforting and crying, she finally manages to say, "It's bad, Sop." "What's going on?" Ella says as she rubs the sleep from her eyes. "Roberto and Oliva, they are dead," she says, breaking down again. Ella stops in her tracks while processing and I sit there, not sure if I heard correctly. Ella breaks down, clinging to me. I don't know how to process this. My parents are dead. They were fine. How? I managed to say while having trouble breathing. "A car accident. The brakes failed and they crashed. The bodies can't be found as the car went down the hill, but they gone." That night my whole life changed. My first anxiety attack. My parents are gone after we had a fight. I never got to apologize. I don't even get to see their bodies. And with that, Ella and my world came crashing down. Our last conversation, and it was a fight. I snap out of my thoughts as I walk up to shower. After showering I change and decide to watch a movie. I scroll through Netflix and find a movie called After. As Hardin helps her to into the lake, Damon enters the room. He sits next to me. "What you watching?" he asks in a relaxed voice. "After, do you want to watch with me?" I ask, a bit too cheerfully. "I don't watch TV, but I guess this once I can," he says hesitantly. We watch the movie in comfortable silence. A while later, I somehow entered up in his arms. The movie ends. "No wait, is there another?" he says, shocked and agitated. I laugh, like uncontrollable laughter. After a few minutes I calm down, with him just looking at me. "I thought you don't watch TV?" I ask, chuckling. His face goes red. "Well, maybe I do now," he says with smirk. My jaw drops. "Is it because of me?" I dare to ask. "Yes, Sophia," he says confidently. In that moment, our eyes lock, and in that moment, I get lost in his eyes, making me forget about every thought that haunts me. I hate the amount of control he has over me without even touching me. In that moment is when I realize is that Damon does have emotions. He can love. He can care for me. Minutes pass by, with us just looking in each other's eyes, when he breaks it by looking at my lips, and in that moment, our lips crash into each other, desperately wanting more. Like this is the first and the last time we will ever be together. My body feels on fire and electricity travels through my body, and with that my hands find its way to his hair and his arms to my waist, pulling each other closer. A knock on the door breaks our kiss. Che cosa, Damon screams. What? King, we have a problem, Alessandro hesitantly says. Fuck, Damon cusses, and with that he leaves. He walks out, leaving me feeling used and excluding. That it makes me think, am I one of the girls that he just sleeps with and leaves, like Matteo mentioned? He had work to do, but he couldn't have said something right. My mind starts to draw all sorts of conclusions, and I wake up with frustration and start pacing up and down. Who does he think he is? I'm not one of his whores? I start cussing him. After waking up and down for what feels like forever, I turn to see the time and it's 1 a.m. in the morning. Maybe I should sleep, and with all sorts of different conclusions being drawn up in my head, I drift off to sleep.